Which are the best types of webinars to host? You may not be aware of it, but there are actually several different types of webinars out there. Each one has a different goal and a different audience, and will require a completely different style of presentation. In this tutorial, we will go through the 3 styles of webinars and what the advantages or disadvantages are to hosting that kind of webinar for your business. Ultimately, it will come down to which one you think fits your product or service the best. Informational webinar. The first type of webinar is one that imparts information. Not surprisingly, this is known as the informational webinar. You are basically teaching someone something with this webinar, and while there may be instances where it is geared towards making money, in general, the goal is to give the attendees the information without any further agenda. An informational webinar may be used in the case of a company that needs to let the employees know about a new product that they are adding to the lineup, or to teach them some new strategies for selling. An informational webinar is all about giving the information and very little else. Product or service webinar. A product or service webinar, on the other hand, is also educational, but the main goal with this type of webinar is to promote or sell something, even indirectly. You do not have to be holding up your latest ebook and actively selling it during your presentation for your webinar to fall into this category. Even if you are giving an informational webinar with the goal of selling a product or service down the road, this is still your type of webinar. Opportunity webinar. Finally, the third type of webinar is the opportunity webinar. This is a much less subtle style of webinar than the product and service webinar, because when you start your presentation, every attendee there knows, or should know, that you are there to convince them to take advantage of an opportunity. This may be a sales or investment opportunity, or just about any other commercial enterprise. The bottom line here is that once you understand the different types of webinars, you can choose the one that fits you the best, and you'll be able to connect much more effectively with your audience. So, which will you present? The informational, the product or service, or the opportunity webinar?